Hey guys, it's Danny Roundtree,
And I'm Daniel Roundtree,
and you're listening to.
Tree Talk. So today we have a ton of stuff to talk about. I feel like I say that every single time, but we
Yeah, you
really
do.
do. And we always started out with what's happening.
Hey.
What's happening? What's happening? Hey.
And what's happening is where we talk about something that's happening in the world right now. And the crazy thing that just happened for sure is wife or not wife, girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, just
Yes.
got arrested. The FBI knocked her door down, went and got her, y'all. Crazy
Yep.
stuff. And conspiracies are already swirling. People think she's either gonna kill herself or get killed, end up killed, just like Jeffrey did. Who knows? But you know what? I think me and my sis talked about it. We're gonna have a whole episode about this.
Yeah,
We
for
got to dive
sure.
into this one.
Man,
That
that's
documentary on Netflix was
crazy.
crazy.
It was.
I could only stomach one episode because it was just
I
getting too
watched the
wild for
whole
me.
thing then, and it was crazy.
Are you
Crazy.
wild?
I'm glad that they brought her to justice, though. Like seriously.
Yeah, she locked up. I mean, we don't know what charges are against her right now yet. I'm sure they'll release that in the coming days.
Yeah.
Hopefully she stays alive because I want to know who all was involved in this. I have questions.
Man, you so nosy.
It's not even nosy, like, it's justice. Like, I want to know
Yeah, because you're
who
not
else was involved. If, we'll really see if Jeffrey killed himself or if he was killed if she gets in there and starts talking.
okay. You know.
We gonna see. Hey,
Moving forward, y'all, the Diddy Bop of the week.
Now watch me Diddy.
I've been jamming to this for a little over a week actually. That Anderson Paak tune Lockdown. Have you heard it, Dan?
I haven't heard it yet.
Man, you're missing
But
out.
I'm gonna edit it in and play it for us.
Yeah, man. He also performed it at the BET Awards. The video for it is outstanding. Like, I hope to work with that cat one day. He's really cool. And him and his son's relationship is so dope. I don't know if you follow him on IG, Daniel, but
I
he
don't.
kept me laughing during the quarantine. So shout out to Anderson Paak. Go download his new tune, Lockdown.
Okay, I mess with Anderson, so I'm looking forward to checking that
Yeah,
out.
man.
Let y'all know what it sounds like, what I'm feeling on it.
All right.
So moving right along, we definitely have one of those topics that might make some people uncomfortable.
Oh,
Uh,
Lord.
so viewer discretion. I said discretion. That is so
You
black of
know
me.
it's
God, I said
crazy.
discretion. Not black of me. Excuse me. Ignorant of me.
Oh,
Viewer
God.
discretion is needed for this particular episode because we're talking about swingers, or the
Open
allegations of being swingers.
relationships. There, we have to define the different types of relationships. There's swingers. Um, which would you define that as an open relationship, Dan?
Well, if you a swinger, you for sure in an open relationship. Like what?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out because there's so many different terms now. You could also be poly, which means you're in a relationship with multiple people, but
Yeah,
just those
polyamorous.
people,
That's like
polyamorous.
big right now. That's like a
Yeah,
wave.
so
I
like
heard.
there's different levels to it and
It's
different
crazy.
definitions of these different types of relationships. So I just want to be politically correct and acknowledge the different types of different love. That's what we should call it. I like that. Different love. No
Before
judgment.
we even dive into this, I really wonder who sits there and makes all these doggone labels. Who got
I
time
don't
for all
know.
that?
But they
Like it's
dope.
labels for everything.
They
It's
dope.
crazy.
They dope because they can sit there and think of all that stuff.
Yeah, that's an
Ain't it
art right there.
crazy?
That means you actually care enough to think about all these different
Right?
labels. Kudos, man.
Shout out to the
Kudos.
label makers. I don't know what
Shout
the
out to them label
political
makers.
politically correct term is, but shout out to the label makers.
Okay,
So yeah,
so
moving back to the topic, swingers,
elephant in the
open
room.
relationships,
Talk about it, sis.
polyamorous. How do you feel about it, Dan?
About polyamorous.
All of it. Swingers, open relationships, polyamorous. Are you open to the idea of different love?
Ooh, ooh. Okay, so let me address this. I'm a Christian man. I love the
Okay.
Lord. And I think that my life, though, has gone through different waves. So obviously, right now, I would definitely say, nah, that's not me. That's not something that I would even think about, being, who I am right now today, 2020, my current age. However, if you ask me this same exact question a few years back, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would be open to knowing more about it in regards to what it really is and what it means.
Right.
I've watched some videos and stuff like that of people talking about it, and people over sexualize it. It's not always about the sexual piece of being in a
Yeah,
polyamorous
sometimes
relationship.
it's about companionship. And
Most
those
deaf.
those three people or however many people are in the relationship, they have true companionship and family. I've watched like a lot of different videos on it with like
Yep.
following people in their real lives, and it's very interesting. um I know we brought up last episode the whole ordeal with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith and August Alsina. I always say his name wrong, but
Hold on, you gotta expand. Everybody might not be listening
oh well,
episode to
August is
episode.
claiming
You
that
gotta break it down. Wait, what happened?
August is claiming that he had a relationship with Jada and Will gave his blessing. Will has since refuted and said he never gave August his blessing, and Jada has since said that she is going to be addressing everything on Red Table Talk. It was actually trending on Twitter. About
Oh
Jada
my god.
addressing it on Red Table Talk. So yeah, who knows what the truth is about that, but the fact is open relationships do exist, especially in Hollywood. I
Oh my god.
come across people who are in open relationships, and it's quite interesting. um but do
So
you
how
would
do
you
you feel
feel-
about it, sis? Before we go super deep into Will, Jada, August, whoever
I
else is
mean, I'm an
involved,
artist, so like I get it. I really do. Personally, that's not my thing, but I get it. And like I said, I've come across people that were in open type relationships, and I can't lie, they do seem happy then.
so let me expand on that happiness, because one thing that we do have to talk about is when we talk about polyamorous in particular, well, we'll get to swingers and all that other crazy labels. Not crazy, but different labels. I don't want to call it crazy.
Different?
That's me
Right,
being judgy. So let me stop.
right,
Let me backtrack it.
right.
But for polyamorous, I will say that most relationships were like this in the beginning of time. We go back to even Bible days, kings, even just the regular Joes all had multiple
Right.
wives. And I guess that's the most common polyamorous relationship you see is a man with multiple women. But obviously, there's the other side of it. Maybe there's a woman with
Oh
multiple
yeah,
men.
I saw an
You know,
episode, a chick, she had two husbands, and they were smashing her and each other.
and
So
that's the
they
so
were
no one
happy.
really talks about that side of it.
Yeah, and she was very happy, like very happy. I think
So
people don't talk about women having multiple partners because it's still taboo of women to
that's
be.
stigma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So me personally, I definitely I couldn't do that. A whole nother, even years ago when I said, years ago I'd be maybe interested to know more about it. Even then, I couldn't share my woman with another man. That's a no no. Um, what do you think about that? Being
Yeah,
in a relationship, I guess, with
probably.
multiple men
Yeah,
who also
like
are in a relationship with each other.
I couldn't do that. I'm good.
It's a
You know,
no for me, dog.
already kind of ugly. So to have like two danglings run around the house, nah, I'm good. I'm good on that. But shout out to the chicks that like two danglings and are living their best life. Because that's really what it's about. I know people get judgy about open relationships because I was reading the comments even early last week about the whole Will Smith and Jada, and people were very judgy. Yeah, people were really judgy in the comment sections on IG. Um, the one perspective was that Jada was a predator and she preyed on August. And then there were people also defending
Eh?
her. saying that this was a man, if Jada was a man, none of us would even be talking about this because we're used to men cheating on their spouses. Then the flip side of it, too, the other objective side was that August knew what he was getting himself into by getting with a married woman, and he should have known better. So, yeah, man,
Most
it's like I think if you
most
are the third party, and you step into somebody's marriage and you know that they're open, like you kind of have to know what that comes with. You know what I'm saying?
most deaf. So like, gotta expand on all three of those points. So first and foremost, being married is a process, you know. And I'm not married. You're not married. I don't think you're married, sis.
You say
So
you don't think
we're
I'm
not.
married? Nah, not
I
yet.
mean, but you know, being married is for real. It's a process, and obviously, Will and Jada have been together a long time. They've been through some different things. They're in Hollywood, which is already a whole nother dimension and a whole nother world, in my opinion. But first and foremost, just like what you said, I understand the judgment of people saying August should have known what he was getting into beforehand because that they're married. You know that he decided to step into a relationship that was already ongoing,
And this is
not
alleged. This is all allegedly, y'all. Allegedly.
allegedly. But I
Allegedly.
mean, I'll
All
be
beyond
honest.
allegedly.
Shoot, I'm gonna say I believe him. I think
Whatever.
he was with her. I think maybe Will and Jada was going through some, or maybe Will. You know, I watched other videos of Will talking about him being a workaholic in regards to his movies and his craft, and he goes into it. And if you been watching movies, and Jada hasn't been in a movie for real in a long time. You know, we see Will every
She
year.
was in
So
Girls
I
Trip.
believe it for
She was
that
in Girls
aspect
Trip,
of
Daniel.
she was in Girl. Yeah, she made a little
Successful
money. She made a little
media
coin on
film.
Girl Trip, but I mean, like not to level of Will, where we see Will at least twice a year on a major movie. So I believe it for that reason. In that, regardless of what's going on with Will and Jada, I think that happened. I think it went down. But you're right. August should have known what he was getting into. And you're also right in that it's sad because the world is used to, oh, well, men cheating. So it's a bigger deal and it's trending and all that much more because it's Jada. That's
I
facts.
mean,
If
but
it was Will, people
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 would
will
be
still talk
dogging Will.
about it and it'll probably still be a big deal because they're a loved couple. Um, you know.
I think
But
people would dog him though, just because his
people
image
definitely
is
would
different.
dog him. And I feel like people aren't really dogging Jada though. I
Yes,
haven't
they
heard too
are.
much of it.
Yes, they are dogging Jada, calling her a
But
predator
we don't
and
know
stuff.
what Will's doing. We don't
You
know
what?
what Will out here doing.
That's none of
So
our
so you
business.
think Will is
They have
never
that's my whole point. That's why I nominated him for the Dumb Dummy of the Week last week, August, because if they have a an agreement into life partnership like he called it,
yeah.
then they're not doing anything wrong. They're honoring their life partnership agreement. If they have an agreement that they can be with other people as long as they stay to committed to one another. That's what it sounds like if it's in fact true, which we don't know because it's alleged.
I got my opinion though.
Well, I'm
Well,
mm-mm.
listen. So here's the other thing, sis. Since we're on that topic, so you're right in that he should have knew that agreement and what it was, but he fell in love. It sounds
But
like
he
he fell
tried
in
it.
deep love to the
Yes,
point
because
of
think about it,
he'll never feel that love again.
Daniel, listen. He experienced grown woman cucacha. Okay?
Oh
He
goodness,
was in his early
Jesus
20s.
Christ!
You know what I'm saying? So she put that boom bap bam on him and he fell in love
Oh my God!
allegedly. Because we don't know if this is true. They could have just had a friendly relationship because neither one of them have ever said that they slept with one another. But I
No
guess
one
that's why
falls in
now
love from
Red
no
Taylor
friendly
Talk.
relationship.
What'd you say?
Nobody falls in love like that
That's not
from a friendly
true. That's
relationship.
not
I don't
true.
want to
You
hear it.
can have that man has some very deep issues. I don't know if you know about August. He's been through a lot of stuff. So I could see somebody coming in and you forming a deep emotional relationship, especially if you've had trauma in your life. We don't know what their
Man, they was.
relationship was.
We know what they was doing. Hey, listeners, we know
Okay.
what they was doing. Put a comment. Just you don't gotta spill it out. Just put a comment. Put a S if you think they was doing the nasty, and put a F as in friendship if you think they was just friends. Go ahead and tap that
And
right
then
now.
put an A for allegedly because we
In
we
quotations.
don't
Put that
know
A with in
what
quotations.
any of these people are doing behind closed doors, okay? But I'd
Crazy,
say if
crazy
you
stuff.
are happy, if you and your man are swingers and you get down like that and y'all have a loving, beautiful relationship, go for it. Give it everything you got. You know what I'm saying?
So, sis, let's talk about swingers because obviously, Will and Jada, this isn't their first time in the news. This rumor of them being swingers has been around for a very long time, years. So, what is swingers, and
So,
I mean, how do you
well,
feel
I'll break
about
it
that?
down for
Obviously, that's not
y'all.
the same as polyamorous.
Let me tell you, I don't know if I ever told you this story. So, I used to be a promotional model. And one time I had a gig and I thought it was for a convention. I didn't know what convention it was for. It was back home I was very young. It was back home in Miami. I show up and it was a swingers convention, Daniel. I'm
I love.
talking about people were walking around naked,
Oh,
men were walking around naked, their woodies were swinging. They were
oh my God!
yeah, it was out of control. Like they were just smashing each other and they had where
Wait, wait.
I was
While you were
selling
there?
products, like products to the people at the convention
Oh
that they
my
were
God!
using on each other. So I was, needless to say, in shock, but it opened my eyes to that this goes down like it's a normal thing. What a swinger is a married couple or a couple that meets up with other couples and they switch partners and they, you know, smash each other's partners' cakes. So
Oh my God!
it's that was
Wait,
very
wait, sis.
educational for me, Daniel.
Wait, sis, I got questions.
Yeah, go on ahead.
Hold on. I have two questions. The first one is about this doggone event. So wait, you was there and they was clapping cakes and
They
doing all
were,
that while you
and
were there?
yes, they had rooms set up.
Oh,
People paid to come to this, and it was, I guess, the smash other people who you don't know's cake convention, and
oh
they
my
were
God.
doing the damn thing. And where I was, like I said, I was selling products, like, intimate products that they were using on each other. It was a
Oh
modeling
my
gig. They had a whole bunch of models there, so I didn't know. I just showed up looking pretty, and then I see Bob with his Woody all the way out. It was very traumatizing for me. But like I
Oh,
said,
that's
it
big
opened
weird.
my eyes because I didn't know stuff like that existed before then.
Wow. So my next question, sis, is do you think, and I kind of have heard answers to my answer, my question, I mean, but so in these swinger relationships,
Uh-huh.
um, is it 100% just sexual, or are there times where a swinger could also transition into polyamorous and they go from
No,
just casually
swingers
hooking up
swingers
to,
just hook up with other couples. Polyamorous is a relationship between multiple
okay, so
people.
you can't like be a swinger and then it just be
Not for the
cool, and
most
then you
part.
get to a point where you start really liking each other, and it's like, you know what,
Who
we
knows?
not
I mean,
swingers
I'm
no
sure
more.
cases like that have gone down, but for the most part, I know because I've had couples try to pick me up at my gigs, try to take
Oh
me home. I'm
man.
like, I know this tall chocolate is turning you on, but I don't get down like that. They have an
Hold on,
agreement.
hold on. So what they say? What is a swinger couple like?
Well,
Is
I
it the
mean,
girl? Is it the guy? Like
in that case,
they
it's
just
different
they just pull up
terminology.
on
In
you?
that case, Daniel, it's a threesome. Okay, they'll try to pick you up. Like, do you want to come home with us and have fun? And this happens a lot at gigs. And I'd be like, what kind of signals am I giving for these weirdos to be coming up to me, asking me these type of inappropriate questions? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
so it's both of them. It's not like the
Yes,
guy,
it's both.
just the guy. It's like the guy and the girl. Like come,
Approach me as a couple.
come through. Like both of us.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god.
I know. I know. I'm surprised they haven't tried to approach you, Dan.
Nah, I don't think I give off that vibe. I don't
What vibe
smile
do
a
I
lot when
give
I'm out in
then?
public. Huh?
What vibe do
Nah,
I give you?
when you out in public, you put on your little out in public smile and all that, and you be overly friendly. I only do that for work. My work Daniel. Oh,
Mhm.
he's on his game. He talks very like this, and he's very politically correct, and he's smiling. Uh, Daniel, that's out here in the streets. Nah, I'm not out here smiling. I probably look like I'm about to hit you, or my girlfriend has told me I look like I'm about to rob people sometimes when I'm walking around. I'm like, what?
That's not
Like
good,
that's just my
Daniel.
face.
You need to
That's
change
just my
that.
face though. Like
You
I
too
don't
big
know.
for that. You need to change
It's
that.
just my face. How do I change it? Help me.
I don't know. I mean, I'm friendly and stuff, and maybe that's my problem. But when I'm up on stage singing, like I've had this happen too, where dudes will think I'm singing to them, and by the end of the night, they inching close to the stage trying to get my number and stuff, and I'm like, dude, I was literally singing above your head. If you thought we connected, I am so sorry, but it just be weird. But
That's
it's
crazy.
it's normalized. Then I mean, it's big in Atlanta.
I heard, Atlanta got some crazy stuff going on out there. That's
Yeah,
new
man.
Sodom and Gomorrah, I guess,
Yeah, it's big in
from a
Atlanta.
lot of
They have
people's
clubs for
perspective.
it.
Not mine. I'm not judgy, but from a lot of people's perspective, it's wild out there.
Yeah,
Um,
I went and because I was looking for a venue to host an event, and I went upstairs to this venue in Atlanta, and it was nothing but beds in there on the top floor. So what do you think they doing? They having they
Maybe it
bachelor
was a
party?
bed convention. Come on, sis. Come
Nah,
on.
son.
It might have been Mattress
It turns
Giant.
to
See,
after hours
look
at
at them.
night, and the strippers and stuff be coming, and couples and stuff be coming. Like, come on, man. You
Oh
wasn't
my
born
god.
yesterday. You know
So
what
it wasn't Mattress
goes
Giant. It
down.
was Mattress Boom Boom in there.
Yes. I'm
Oh
telling you.
my
And
god.
listen, I think it's cool that people are that free where they could just do that. Like that must be invigorating for them.
It
On
must be
the
because
other hand,
look,
I couldn't
I
do that.
remember that red table talk when Jada was like, "I wish we were swingers. I wish
Yes,
I
they
wish
said that
Will would
they are
let
in an
me."
open relationship and they don't get down like that. We don't
You
know
know, but
what's
she has said openly many times that that's not their relationship. That's not what they do. So do you think that's all for Hollywood and they really are out here just living free? Because I will say that if you listen to their children talk, it's very very hard in my opinion to see a child that open and not think that their parents aren't
Well,
somewhat
Willow
open.
is polyamorous. She came out last year and said she was
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. You know, to see how open they are, it's hard for me to not think that that's not values that have been passed on to them.
I mean, well, once again, one's sexuality doesn't have anything to do with their character. Just because you like
Not at
awesome
all. That's not
people,
what I'm saying either.
that I just wanted
Yeah,
to
not.
clarify that just
Oh,
because
okay.
a couple might be freaks, that doesn't mean that they're not awesome people and that they haven't instilled great values into their children. Um,
Yeah, most
is
definitely. I
Willow and
mean,
Jaden
at the end
open
of the
as
day,
hell?
everybody got a little freak leak in them. Everybody.
Yeah, Willow and Jaden is they're both open as hell, but I don't know. I guess because I'm weird, I kind of think it's cool. Like I like to see
Yeah,
Black
yeah. Like right when you ended
creators
saying that, I was
doing
like,
that
yeah,
stuff.
that was some weird stuff to say. Yeah,
What? They're I mean, at
like
least their kids are
you
free
said it, and I was
enough
like,
to
yeah,
express
I see
themselves.
that. That was
Daniel,
weird.
whatever, man.
And I feel that
You
at the
don't
end of
get
the
it because
day,
you're not in the
I
industry.
think the
But
biggest
I'm saying
problem
it
with a
from a
lot of people
perspective.
is,
I'm saying it from a
go ahead.
perspective, Daniel, that at least their children express themselves, and we don't see that all the time with like Black people. Like they just do whatever they want to do and don't worry about labels and stuff, and that's kind of refreshing.
Oh no,
Even
I'm
if
all for
people that are
that.
free.
Especially even the way we were raised with our parents not trying to put um uh, uh, everything on our mindset in regards to who we wanted to be and what we
Yeah,
wanted to do.
look at me,
Yeah,
Daniel.
I'm
I'm
all
weird
for
as
that, and I
hell.
respect it.
I'm weird as hell. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. So it's like if people have these, interesting lifestyles, who are we to judge? If you want to swap your wife with your buddy over dinner, go for
Uh,
it. But my only thing is, don't come over here talking about do you want to join the cake fest? You know what I'm saying? Because
Come over here with that bug.
you know what I'm saying? I'm good over here with me and mine. Okay.
I feel you 100% on that, and I think that there is a lot of stereotypes and stigmas associated with any relationship that's outside of the norm.
Right.
So
And like you
even
said,
friendships,
back in the day, and even if we look at some of our African countries, etc., other
they
countries,
still do
they
it.
still
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
So,
and
I
it's a
think
way of life.
that it's
Things are
okay for
done
us
easier. They
to,
have more children.
right? And I think it's okay for us to also acknowledge that when you are with somebody for a long time, you are still human and you're going to be attracted to other people. You know what I'm
No,
saying? We
no,
demonize that too.
no.
Yes, Daniel. So you're telling me that when you see a beautiful woman, you don't be like, damn, she's beautiful.
Oh, you not finna incriminate me. You
Okay,
not finna.
whatever.
Shh. You must not know my girl. Oh
Well,
no.
oh well. I don't put that type of pressure.
I'm gonna be real. Of course, especially for men. I think it's even worse for men. Realistically, no matter who you are, how old you are, how long you've been with somebody, or even how attractive the person that you're with is, there's still gonna be other people that you find attractive. That doesn't mean you're acting on that, but that's
Right.
just
And it's
realistic.
natural and there's nothing wrong with that. Now,
Not a thing. I would go as far as to say is there's nothing wrong with polyamorous or any of that other stuff if that's what you believe, if that's what you truly believe. Who am I to tell you
nothing's wrong with
how
it because we
relationships
all
should
love
be? And
differently.
that's even as a Christian man. Uh,
Right. That's
yeah,
why I
I have my
said
beliefs, but my beliefs are mine, not
right.
yours.
That's why I said our sexuality has nothing to do with somebody's moral fiber unless they're doing something wild like being with a child or something like that. Then
Yes,
you're
the children are off limits.
right.
No.
But if you wanna you like I said, go over to your friend's house and y'all smash each other's wives, that's what's up. Just like I said, I don't want to be invited to that party. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
just leave me off the invite
Yeah,
list. Yeah.
don't even invite me to that barbecue. I probably can't even eat anything anyways because I'm vegan. So don't even
Don't even
invite
tell
me.
me
You know
about
what
it.
I mean?
Actually, just keep it to
Actually,
yourself.
that's exactly. Um, we
I'll
need to get
pass.
to a point where we stop judging people for being different and just accepting each other for who we are. I'm sure
Uh,
there's way more people than we know, Daniel, that get down like that. Okay? Way more.
Oh, I would believe it. I mean, at the end of the day, especially in the climate of 2020, a lot more things that were widely not accepted are becoming more accepted. I think it's still down to the individual, and I think a lot of the hardcore conservatives they struggle with that because the hardcore conservatives feel that their beliefs are the right beliefs, the best beliefs, and no one else is I guess, permitted to have their own beliefs. I also see that a ton in even the Christian community and in churches where you don't have to condone someone else for your own walk. Your walk is your walk, but
Right.
that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. I mean, let's just learn to be tolerant. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot of freaks out there. And like I said, it's probably a lot of people that get down like that. And it be the conservative button down ones. They say the truth come out at night. I'm just telling you, Daniel.
Oh my god!
That's the
So, hey,
team.
sis, question here. So, if you had a child that was not quite 18, 17 years old, 16 even, and they came to you and said, "Mom, you know what? I think I want to be in a polyamorous relationship." What would be your response, realistically and truthfully? And I'm gonna get
Well,
mine.
mom and dad were pretty hard on me. Um, I didn't date like that. I had play boyfriend in high school, but I would tell them to focus on themselves and let's worry about identity and all that. Let's revisit it once they get a little bit older because as 15, 16, you're still learning yourself. I definitely wouldn't judge my child because if your child is coming to you, you should listen. You know what I mean? But like I said, pushing it back on them. Let's focus on yourself right now and let's revisit it once you've gotten a little bit older because I don't personally think that dating should really be happening at that age. But that's just me because I'm old
So,
school.
so you think like 16-year-olds shouldn't be out here dating?
No,
Wait,
no.
hold on.
And my
So
future child,
I
I
feel
need you to
like
know right
at
now, you're
16,
not
that's
having
when
a
you
boyfriend
begin
or
dating.
girlfriend or whatever you're going to be doing at 15 or 16, okay? No. No.
So when you have a 16-year-old, if you have children, you're not gonna let them date at 16.
No. Am I speaking another language?
Oh, you see, this
You
is
need
the
to
reason
focus on
kids
your
go to
education
college and they go
or
crazy.
your craft or whatever it is that we're going to be. Once my child decides what they really have a passion for, I'm going to push them in that direction. That's what you
What if
need
they
to
don't
focus.
have a passion for anything?
Oh, they will. Daniel, come on. They'll be coming from out of my
There's
coochie. Like
plenty of kids out
I'm the
here that
most
have
driven girl you
no
know.
identity.
I'm the most driven girl you know. For me not to have a driven child would be like an
Driven
abomination.
is not a genetic gene that's
It
passed
is.
along.
Daniel,
It's not. It's
Daniel,
not.
you and I are
It's
driven
not.
people. We came from driven parents. They
That's
just
different.
instilled that in us. Of course, it's not a genetic code or anything, but they instilled that drive in us. So, knowing how motivated I am, my child will be the same way. I'm pretty sure of it.
Listen, I love you, sis, but your kids are, if they the minute they leave the house, if that happens, they're gonna go crazy. Those the kids that weren't allowed to date in high school,
Daniel,
I
I didn't
remember
go
seeing those
crazy.
kids in high school and they just went crazy,
I
just
didn't go
drugs,
crazy.
just sex fest,
I
just
didn't go crazy
babies,
because
all
our
of that.
parents made me fall
Now
in
you went
love
low
with
key crazy,
music.
but that's another conversation.
Our parents made me fall in love with music and the arts, so I didn't go crazy. I focused on my
Allegedly.
craft. But whatever, I mean, Imma have a good kid and, you know, I claim that, I received that, and
Hey
whenever that
man,
happens, it ain't happening no time soon, so I don't even know why we
hey man.
talking about this.
Well,
Okay?
listen, back to the swingers, and I want to answer this too, because me personally, I have my own beliefs. So if my 16-year-old son or daughter came up to me and said, you know what, listen, Dad, I feel comfortable enough to talk to you about this. I think that I want to be in a poly relationship. I would probably at first be like, "Hey, whose house?" No, no, that's something our dad would say. Sorry, I had a flashback. Rest in peace to our dad. I miss him so much. But that's something our dad would say for sure. He'd be, whose house? Not in this house. But realistically, I would probably listen to it, um, give my opinion. I think communication, especially with kids, is so important, and it's a lost art. And man, I'm grateful that our parents did try to talk to us. It was very few times where we heard, well, because I said so. Like we usually got explanations on why we had to do things and why things were a certain way. So shout out to our parents for sure for being willing to make those explanations. Because maybe not you, but I know myself, I was definitely that kid who always had questions, who always would even get into debates sometimes, with mom or dad. So I would give my opinion personally, and what my opinion is, it doesn't matter. I will give my opinion on how I feel about it. But I'll be supportive and let them know I'm gonna love you regardless. But this is how I feel. And in all honesty, I probably would oppose what they would say. But I think it's important to treat things with love. At the end of the day,
Yeah, absolutely.
kids are always going to do what they want to do. So your opinion, if you try to force them to do something, that's not going to change what they do.
But I don't think, telling your child, "Focus on yourself and let's revisit it," is a bad thing because I do think kids are not kids anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like kids are growing up so fast. It's like why rush into relationships when you could discover and explore different parts of yourself? But that's just me. You know what I'm
Oh, most
saying?
deaf. I was listening to I believe Charlemagne was talking about it on his podcast. You're gonna have to actually it was Ti expeditiously. You're gonna have to start for all parents in this new day and age, start having these conversations much earlier than
Oh yeah.
when you and I grew up. Because with
I'm gonna
social
have I'm
media,
gonna
with
have
the internet,
conversations
access
with
to
my kids
things,
when they're little, Dan. Right
you
away.
have
You have
to. You have to. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's necessary. You absolutely have to. Because if you don't, they're going to hear from somebody at school or one of their friends or somebody.
right. But again, who are we to judge? And whatever God gives me, I'm going to love and embrace. Like I said, I know we're talking about open relationships, poly relationships, swingers. People do love differently out here. You know what I'm saying? But that does
Sis,
not
let's
mean. What were you about to say, Dan?
No, I was just gonna say, we tapped in and talked a lot about specifically poly and swingers. We haven't really talked more in depth on open relationships and what that really means. So I feel like that's becoming
I mean,
extremely
we did.
popular.
We did. We talked about it. I mean, an open relationship is just an agreement between two committed people. We did talk about this.
We talked,
Um,
yeah, with Will and Jada being married, but I mean just a
yeah.
relationship, strictly like a relationship, no ring, no vows, no none of that. You're just dating, but you also are dating other people. How does that? I mean, how do you feel about that one? If you're a man, or if you relationship came up to a point where your man said, "Hey, let's go to an open relationship." What are your thoughts, just in general?
It's just not for me personally because I'm possessive and crazy. But, I know for some people that works. Yeah, I was just saying, for some people that works personally, it wouldn't work for me. I'm just, when I'm in a relationship, I love very hard. And I just couldn't imagine sharing that. I'm very spiritual. So I do believe that when you lay down with somebody, your souls intertwine. And so we do have to be cognizant of that. If you're in a relationship with multiple people, that's a lot of soul ties. And I'm not judging. I just know me personally, I don't think I could handle more than one soul tie if that makes sense.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I definitely would say I have to agree from a standpoint more of, when you're in a relationship and you really care about someone, it's gonna depend on you as a person and your moral outcome. I've had friends in the past, or teammates, buddies that I play ball with, who they love their girl to the max. However, they also love cheating, and
Mm.
there was no in their mindset, and a lot of people really don't believe this. They don't see how that is possible, but I can tell you firsthand, not from my own experience, not I wasn't on that, but friends and men that I've had this literal deep conversations with, where they literally broke it down for me, and told me how it works and how it's true, and it's a true feeling for them. So I could understand from hearing that conversation and hearing it from the horse's mouth how some people will be okay with open relationships if that's your mindset. That's not me saying I agree with it, because me personally, it's not for me. It's a no for me, doc. Oh no, no, I couldn't do it. Not my vibe. I am definitely very protective of who I'm with, as well as my own morals and my beliefs. But I, I couldn't do it. But I do know both men and women who in my past I've had these conversations with, and I understand if you're in a place of comfortability and confidence, that that person is still going to be there despite you doing your own thing. Cool. I just don't. I mean, to me,
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
not for
like,
me
what's the point though? That's really how I've always seen it. Like, why not just be single if you want to be with all these different people,
because it's knowing you have
especially.
somebody to still come home to. Some people like the idea of still having someone to come home to. It's
You
like
could
having
do
your
that
cake
while
and eating
being
it too.
single.
It's having your cake and eating it too. People are,
It for sure is. I mean, I don't see the point of it. Why even have that title? You could still come home to that person. I don't know. Maybe we're too old school, sis. I don't know, but my
you know,
thing is,
I like I said, I have friends who have had relationships like that. It is what it is. It's like you gotta understand people are attracted to different things too. What we are attracted to, what we like, that's that's what makes us unique, I guess. So while one partner is okay for us, some people need more than one partner. Have you ever thought of that?
yeah, I've heard things like this. I've heard men in particular, more so than women, tell me this. Tell me that they've tried 100% to be, uh, I guess, not a cheater, and they just couldn't. I don't believe this. I can tell you multiple reasons why. I can tell you psychologically why. That's a control thing. Just like people who can't control what they eat, can't control their emotions. Um, it's 100% a control thing, and that just means they don't have control of their sexuality, and then being able to control that dog. I mean, that's how a lot of people have described it. It's a dog. You know, it's a dog within you, and the dog wants to bark and wants to go play. If you can't control it, it's not that you need it. It's that you don't have the mental capacity within yourself to control it.
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, in regards to open relationship, that's an agreement between two people, so you're not cheating. So that doesn't apply to that because two people have an agreement. Remember that, Dan.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm just addressing what you said about. You said there are people that may
They need it.
feel
Yeah,
they
they
need
feel
multiple
more
people,
loved
and I
when
don't agree with
they're in a polyamorous relationship or in an open relationship, you know? I'm just going based off of things that I've watched, like documentaries and stuff. That's what fulfills them is being with more than one partner. Who
Yeah,
knows?
again, I would just go back to saying that's a mental thing. That's something within their head that they feel that fulfillment is necessary for multiple people instead of just one. At the end of the day, um, the feeling of love is it's one feeling. The sad thing about it is mentally wise, it does dissipate. It does go away, and that's actual science. So I could see why people might say that. I just don't agree with the science behind it. I don't agree that that's something that's an absolute need. They might feel that fulfillment and it might be real. However, is it a need? Nah. That's my opinion. I don't knock it, no
Okay.
judgment. Hey, if you want to be with 15 people, if you want to be with a horse, whatever, cool.
Well,
Just make
nah,
sure
not
it's
on
not,
horse
make
minute.
sure it's not children. I don't agree with the horse either, but hey, it's
Okay, I
it's
was
none of
about
my
to say,
business.
nah,
Nah, I
they
don't
should
agree
leave
with
no
it. It's
damn
none of
horse.
my business.
Let me tell you
It's none of my
something. If you
business. That's what
having
I'm
sex
saying.
with a pony, I'm snitching. That's too much. That is too much. No.
First off, that's illegal, and that's bestiality. I think you go to jail for that one.
Well, okay, it should be illegal. I'm just saying, if I find out any one of my friends is having sex with ponies, I'm gonna have to snitch on you. Okay.
Well, that was
Well,
like a thing. Like there was like women like doing it with freaking horses, man.
then I
Like
don't know
I
what
heard
you
that.
be watching or what are you into?
I'm
Like,
not watching
you need to
that. What you
pray.
talking about? I heard that was a thing. What are you
How
talking
who is
about?
you
Well, I'm
talking
watching. You
to?
see how she trying to do me? You see
Who
how
are
she
you
trying
been
to do
talking
me?
to? I'm coming to
Oh my
Dallas.
god. Oh
We
my
need to
god.
pray and intercede for Daniel, y'all.
Oh my god. You
What
better
you
not.
boys watching? But y'all,
See, she trying to
Danny,
do me,
why don't
man.
we wrap it up? And let's go into the next segment because I really want to hear what you got for LOL this week.
Okay, so can we get a LOL?
Hey,
Laugh out loud, aka LOL, is the time of our I guess, show where we talk about something funny that happened during the week or recently.
right.
And this particular LOL was for the entire summer. And I hate to tell all the hot girls out there that's listening to our podcast, Hot Girl Summer is canceled. It's canceled, y'all. It's already July.
Oh,
Stuff is still closed down. It's not opening back up anytime soon. They just shut down 4th of
damn, hating
July.
y'all.
So I know a lot of y'all Megan Thee Stallion lovins, Nicki Minaj Barb's was excited for Hot Girl Summer. I would go as far as to say there was people working out just for Hot Girl Summer. Didn't work out all year long, but then here comes March, April. They already quarantined. They trying to get their body right for Hot Girl Summer. Guess what? Guess what, sis?
Man, you
It's
hating.
canceled. It's not coming back. And if it does, you're only gonna get a little bit
It's
of
a
August,
virtual hot
and
girl
by then
summer.
nobody wants you anyway. So
It's
it's
a
gonna start
virtual hot
cooling
girl
down and
summer. Just
cuffing
post
season is
your
around the corner.
Daniel, it's a virtual hot girl summer. All the thoughts, just post your thoughtiest pictures on IG. Hot girl summer still on. It's just virtual this year, okay?
Oh, it's
Daniel is
okay. So all the thirst traps is just
right.
virtual.
All the
It's
hot
not
girls
not
and
not in
hot
person.
boys, just post your stuff virtually. your thottiest photos, and that's how Hot Girl Summer will be kept alive for 2020. All right, y'all. Let's move on to the dumb dummy of the week.
Stupid.
I'm gonna have to nominate my governor, Governor Kemp, only because as of July 1st, we had 2,900 cases of new documented cases of the coronavirus here in Georgia. And man, it's just like with the cases rising like this, and it's the summer. Think about it. This is when viruses and stuff are supposed to die. With the cases rising like this, I think masks should be mandatory here in Georgia. Just go ahead and make it mandatory. Daniel, didn't you say that they have made it mandatory in Texas?
Yeah, it was just past last week. Crazy thing.
Wow, man. So yeah, man, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna have to give the dumb dummy to Governor Kent because it's like if the cases are rising, the masks need to be mandatory. And I've been seeing there's a club across the street from my house, y'all, and they've been popping it, and ain't nobody been wearing no mask. So
Also,
I,
Hot
I
Girl
mean,
Summer not canceled over there.
I
That's what
told you I live in Atlanta. I don't know what you're talking about. The virtual hot girl summer started like July 1st, okay, and they already getting together here in Atlanta and going to the club, no mask on.
oh my god.
Yeah, so we need to talk to Governor Kemp and see if we could talk some sense into him because masks need to be mandatory wherever the cases are peaking and rising. You know what I'm saying? We just want to be safe.
Most definitely. That is crazy stuff. Well, for our promotion for the week this time, guys, we're not even going to go to a website. I want you guys to do me a favor and go on to Netflix, watch either 13th or When They See Us, get a little educated on things that have been going on. We're trying to lighten it up and get away from some of these deep combos. However, there's still battles going on within our country, within the
Absolutely.
U.S. So I definitely encourage you, please, the top one, if you just needed one, go watch 13. It'll really, really help you understand why in 2020 there's still things and remnants of what's been going on for the last 150 years. If you don't know
Yes,
what I mean
yes.
by that, go watch 13.
Yes, and while you guys are at it, make sure you follow us on our social media platforms, Tree Talk Podcast on Facebook and at Tree Talk on IG. We
Do it.
appreciate you. And make sure to also like, comment, and subscribe.
Absolutely. Tell the people who you are, sis.
Once again, y'all, my name is Danny Roundtree,
And I'm Daniel Roundtree.
and you've been listening to
Tree Talk.